want to sleep on that hair, Your Highness. I'll be waiting up. You can be very stubborn. My mama has told me the very same, only she doesn't make it sound like a compliment. Charis laughed, her stomach easing for a moment, and then she lifted her chin and faced the door. Once she stepped outside her private chambers, the game would begin, and Charis had to play her role to perfection. A pair of guards were waiting for her as she exited her chambers. Elsbeth, a guard Charis was moderately fond of, immediately bowed and then stepped to the opposite side of the corridor to flank the princess's left side. Reuben, Charis's head guard and the one she was sure reported directly to her mother, took up his position on her right. He was built like a starving alley dog, his hard brown eyes following her every move, as if challenging her to show any hint of weakness he could reveal to the queen. They moved through the corridor toward the grand staircase that would take Charis down 3 flights of stairs and into the main hall, just shy of the palace ballroom. Her heels tapped delicately against the gleaming wood floors, and she shivered a little as the sea breeze crept in through the windows that lined the hallway. Summer was losing its grip on Calera, and a chill was seeping into the air as the sun dipped below the horizon. Another season was passing, with the war no closer to ending. Every week brought reports of new casualties, new ground gained by the fierce soldiers from the mountains at Calera's back, and her kingdom was struggling to replenish its armies and retake the territories that were now occupied by the enemy. There had to be a path toward peace with King Alaric Penbrin of Montevallo, and Charis was determined to find it. But those thoughts could be saved for a time when she wasn't 15 minutes late to the ball being held in honor of 2 new ambassadors. Mother was hardly going to forgive her tardiness, and Charis had no intention of letting the queen know she was late because Mila had struggled with the new hairstyle the handmaiden had designed. "Your Highness," Derald bowed as Charis descended the staircase and approached the side entrance to the ballroom. Her secretary's voice was its usual calm, near monotone, but there was a slight edge to it that sounded like relief. His blonde hair looked somewhat rumpled, and he'd buttoned his considerable girth into a dress coat that strained to hold him. "Her Majesty the Queen will be glad to know you've arrived." That explained the relief then. Mother would have held Derald personally responsible for her daughter's tardiness. "I apologize for distressing you, Derald." The shadow of relief in Derald's voice was slipping toward worry. "The ambassadors have already arrived. The Queen would be furious that the crown princess hadn't been in the ballroom to greet the newest diplomatic officials. A single misstep could sever the ties that Calera desperately needed if they were to turn the tide of the war and reclaim their northern territories. "Fill me in on what I need to know." Charis began moving toward the ballroom door. Derald shuffled the small stack of papers he held and hurried to keep up. "First, you are to join your mother on the dais and greet the ambassadors. The Varetian diplomat receives the first greeting, as they have been our ally longer than Rullenvor. You will then officially open the ball with this speech." He handed her a thin piece of paper with his neat handwriting filling half the page. "Any particular areas of concern I should address with each ambassador individually?" "Vrachi is having trouble with packs of wild giants coming down from their mountains." "Again?" "Apparently, once giants know there's a readily available food source for the taking, it's impossible to keep them at bay unless you destroy the entire pack." "They have giants, we have bloodthirsty Montevallians. It seems nothing good ever comes down off a mountain." They moved closer to the ballroom's entrance. "Indeed." Derald pulled another paper from his stack. "Rullenvor is engaged in a trade dispute with Solvang, though all reports indicate the 2 kingdoms are solving the issues through diplomatic channels. Also, there are rumors of unrest in the northern seas, though it's unclear if that's related to a sea kingdom or to the Basilisk Cave or some other threat in the uncharted waters up north. At any rate, if the rumors are true, that may be of concern to both ambassadors." "I hardly think the basilisks will have left their cave to travel the seas." Charis patted her tower of hair, pressing an errant ruby back into place. "There is the matter of the trade ship from Rullenvor that went down at sea before it could reach us. Several physicians have expressed concern over shortages in medical supplies as a result, so perhaps the ambassador could be encouraged to support the hasty launching of a new shipment." "Without letting him know how very badly we need the supplies." Charis nodded.